Before we continue creating our application, I noticed that the new version of Android Studio has been released on a stable channel, the version 4.3. I heard really good things about this new version, and I will update my IDE, and then later on I will create an exclusive video about this new version. Okay, let's continue creating our application. In here, inside this ask for detail dialog, I'm going to pass data to the parent activity. For that, I can use the callback interface. But before that, first of all, I need to receive the training which I passed in here inside this training activity. In here, I'm passing the training into bundle and then pass it to my dialog. In here, I'm going to receive it. Get argument gym training is equal to bundle dot get parcelable and training as the key. Also, I need to check if it's null or not. It could be null in some times. If it is not null, let's create a new plan. Plan dot set accomplished to false because we are defining a new plan. It certainly is not accomplished. Plan dot set day to spinner dot get selected item dot to string. Plan dot set minutes to integer dot value of our edit text, our time edit text dot get text dot to string. Plan dot set training to the incoming training in here, which we are receiving through bundle. Let's create our interface up in here. Public interface get details, a method void on getting details result. I need to create an instance of my interface. Before this on click listener, I need to cast the parent activity. Class cast exception e.print stack trace. Our get details is equal to, we need to cast it to the interface and get activity. Later on, we will implement this interface in our parent activity. In here, get details dot on getting result. Let's pass the plan in here. Okay, let's implement this method, this interface in our training activity, which is the parent activity. Implement get details. Implement the method, a logging, and from here we will navigate to the plan activity. From this to plan activity.class. Also, I'm going to set the flag to create new task because we don't want the user to navigate back to this training by pressing back button. For that, let's say set flags intent.clear task or intent.new task. Let's pass our plan as well. Put extra plan as the key and our plan as the value. To start activity and pass our intent. Now let's run our application and see if we are going to navigate to that plan activity. Let's add some plan. Add it to my plan, 20 minutes for example, for Monday. We are navigating to the plan activity, but it's not showing because we are not adding it to our utility array list. For that, let's say utils.add to user plan and add our plan. But if you notice, Right now our backstack is clear, and if I press this back button, it will close the application. For that, in here inside the plan activity, I will override the onBackPressed method and then define the backstack manually. OnBackPressed, before this super.onBackPressed, let's create an intent which will navigate from this activity to main activity. Okay, let's run it once again. Let's add some plan in here. Add to my plan 20 minutes for Monday once again. By adding, we are navigating to plan activity, but because we didn't set the adapter's value in here, we are not receiving any items in here. For that, inside this plan activity, inside this init recycler view, I need to, for example, for Monday, receive those values for Monday. For that, let's create a new array list of plan. Let's call it Monday plans is equal to new array list. Then via using a for each loop, by iterating to get users plan from utility class, if plan dot getDay dot equals Monday, then we are adding that plan to our Monday plans. Then after the for loop, I will set this array list to my adapter plan. For that, let's say Monday adapter dot set plans, which I didn't create the setter method, and we'll pass the Monday plans. Let's quickly create that setter method as well. Planners view adapter, a setter for the list of plan, and we'll notify the dataset. Right now our Monday plan will be shown. Let's quickly add this array list or add these items to other days as well. Let's run our application once again. It should work fine this time. 15 minutes, for example. You can see that it has been added to our Monday plans. I want to navigate the user by clicking on this item in here to the training activity in order to show more details. Also, I want to set onClickListener for these edits as well. Let's quickly create those as well. Inside this plan adapter, if you remember, I created a to-do in order to navigate. Let's create an intent from context to training activity. Intent.putExtra. Let's create the onClickListener for that edit text view as well, but in order to set the onClickListener, I need to create another activity called edit activity to navigate to that activity. Edit activity. For the layout, as before, I'm going to paste something in here. Activity edit. Let's show the preview as well. As you can see, it's a simple layout file which will contain the name of the day, also a recycler view. And because I wanted to add this button at the bottom of my layout, and no matter if the user is scrolling or not, I added this nested scroll view and put this recycler view inside that nested scroll view. And also this button in order to add more plans to our weekly plan. Okay, let's initialize all of these in our Java file. Let's add the adapter to our recycler view. For that, I'm going to reuse my plan recycler view adapter. Adapter is equal to new plan recycler view adapter, and pass the context. My recycler view dot set adapter to adapter, and a linear layout manager as well. But because our adapter items are going to behave different from when we have seen them in our plan activity, I'm going to define some string in my plan recycler view adapter called type. We will see why I'm doing this. Private string type. Let's initialize it to an empty string and also a setter in here. Later on in my edit activity in here, I'm going to change the type to, let's say, edit. Later on in my adapter, depending on this type, I will define a long press listener and also a listener for that accomplished or not accomplished image view that we created. I'm going to pass the name of the day via an intent. I will receive it in here. Get intent inside the try catch. String day is equal to intent dot get string extra and pass day as the key. If day is not equal to null, I'm going to set the text txt day to that day. Next, once again, I'm going to iterate through user saved plan from that utility class, and will receive all the plans for that specific day. New array list, a for each loop inside our utils.getUsers plan. If plan.getDay is equal to the day that we are receiving, then add that plan to our plans array list. Adapter.set plans to plans. Now let's define that onClick listeners inside the adapter. For that, inside my plan recycler view adapter, in onBindViewHolder method, I'm going to check if type is equal to edit, and only if that situation is true, then I will create some onClick listener for that empty checkbox. Set onClick listener, new onClick listener. For now, let's just create a to-do and say show a dialog. Also the long press as well. Viewholder dot parent dot set onLongClick listener, new onLongClick listener. First of all, we are going to return true. Another dialog in here. These two dialogues doesn't need to be anything special or customized. I can use the simple alert dialog.builder. New alert dialog.builder and pass the context as the context in here. Inside this onPositive button click listener, I need to do two things. First, I need to change the plan situation to accomplished in here inside this recycler view dataset, and also I need to change it in that static array list inside my utility class. For that, let's say plans.getI.setAccomplished to true, and also let's iterate through that static array list as well. Utils.getUsersPlan if plan dot equals our current plan. If it is equal, I'm going to change the value in that static array list as well. Also, I need to change or notify the dataset change. This was the first dialog. Let's create the other one as well. I can delete this to do now that we created that dialog. And here, once again, I can use this alert dialog. In here, we are simply going to remove that plan from user's plan. Also, we need to notify the dataset. Builder.create.show. To review the flow of things in here, once again, inside our plan activity, we are going to set an onClick listener for all these edit text views. Then we are passing the day within that onClick listener, within the intent. We are navigating to the edit activity. In here, we are receiving that intent in here. Then we are setting the adapter type to edit. After that, if the type is edit in our adapter, we are setting to onClick listener for that empty checkbox, and also a long press onClick listener for the whole parent. And depending on those items, we are going to show different dialogues. Okay, let's set the onClick listener for our edit buttons in here. Right now, if I run my application, everything should work fine. First, let's add some plan to our weekly plans. Add it. In our plan activity, for example, for Monday, I can see that the text has been changed to Monday. If I click on this little circle in here, I can see a dialog. Have you finished the squad? Let's say no. Once again, yes, I have finished it. Also, by long pressing on this card view, let's say no for deleting that plan. Once again, let's say yes. And I don't know why, but even though I notify the dataset in here, it's not refreshing my view in here. That's fine, because I'm going to create a callback in here, and depending on that, we will refresh our recycler view. For that, let's create some interface in here. Public interface, delete plan. void on deleting plan. I need to pass the day in here as well. Also, as before, we need to create an instance of our interface as well. In here, before this onClick listener, let's cast that interface to mContext and catch class as cast exception. Later on in this onClick listener, instead of notifying the dataset, I'm going to say delete plan.onDeleting plan. I'm going to pass the plan's day .get day. In my edit activity, I need to implement that interface. Implement delete plan. Let's add some logging first. First of all, let's change that text view to the current day that we are receiving. Then let's get the array list once again from our utility class. After the for loop, I need to say adaptive.setPlans and pass the plans. Okay, let's see if it's working or not. Let's add some plan. And here on edit activity, by long pressing on this plan, let's say yes, and it will remove from our plan list. But still, I'm seeing this plan in my plan activity. For that, I'm going to override the onBackPress in here in this edit activity as well. I'm going to create an intent, new intent, and navigate from this activity to plan activity. But for the flags, I'm going to clear the backstack. Start activity and intent. Later on in my plan activity, because I overrided this onBackPress in here, we will have a main activity as our backstack. Let's see if it's working, and if it does work, we will finish this video. Let's quickly add some plan by clicking on this edit. Let's say yes. By pressing onBackPress, we can see that our plan activity has been refreshed. Okay, in the next video, we will continue creating our application, for example, this about dialog, and also we will debug it if it has some bugs. See you in the next video.